Good morning. Today is February 23rd, 2023. Uh, this was, again, it was going to be a bit of a health update, but I think that I'll wait till tomorrow only because yesterday, I had some great distraction from my condition. I just wanted to share it with you. And this one is not true crime related. Um, I think you guys probably heard that there's a movie out there called The Whale. I actually would have liked to have seen it in the theaters when it was released, but I wasn't doing so well over Christmas. And I think I already told you that movies are a little bit more an effort as opposed to an enjoyable event. So it came and went. Plus, it was also limited release. I'm sure that there's one theater that does the artsy films, and I didn't get to see it in the theaters. I would have liked to, but it was just released on digital, and then I think in a couple of weeks it'll be a DVD. But my takeaway was it was a great film. It really was a great film. One of the rare films to me, that actually evoked an emotional response. I would have loved to have seen the play, to tell the truth, because the way it's set up, and it's obviously it was a play before a movie, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. That's three reels. That's how much I enjoyed it. Um, Not getting into spoilers, but the piece is a character study, as most plays are, and this one was brilliant. Um, Funnily, if that's a word, for me, the obesity of the character played such a, for me, trivial part of the show. Let me explain the show, the movie. Let me explain that to you. It was a trauma of his life and life decisions and choices that he made for good or for ill, and you understood his choices, led him to coping with food as or using food as a coping method. That's the way I interpret it, anyways. Apparently, he was always had, let's call it an addiction for food, in the sense of he was always, as they explain in the movie, he was always plus size, let's say. And then the trauma of an event led him to overconsume and turned him into an obese person. Not The Whale. Originally, I was surprised at the title, which a lot of people are, it seems, are taking offense to, calling him the whale. I think they're missing the point. There's a Moby Dick through line throughout the uh, movie, which, if you see the movie or the play, you get. Yeah, there's double entendre, but to me, the obesity had so little to do with the character, other than he had put himself in the state that he was in. That said, he was still functionable in the sense of he was still living his life. He still had a career. He was still able to survive. He was a recluse. He was a shut in, but he could still get by. Is my point. He still had enough strength of character. He wasn't. He How do you put this? He wasn't angry at himself, sad at himself, hateful to himself, and therefore that he got himself into the position he was in with his weight and the ramifications of that. No, that to me, it's decisions, choices that he made, that led him to this point. And I did not see, and a lot of people apparently, or there is a section of people out there who don't like this film, because they say it's a lot about self-loathing, and and the self-loathing is the weight. I never saw that. I saw it as a man who was, because of his health, had now reflecting on his life, some of the choices that he made, that is from where the trauma comes from. He wished that he could have made different choices. I don't know if I could say better choices, but in the long run, he has to live with the ramifications of said decisions that he made. And one of his way of coping, in my read of the movie, of the character, was food was a comfort to him, maybe an addiction that became a comfort. I'm not 100% sure. You have to understand, my weight issues had nothing to do with an addiction element. It had everything to do with it just hit me. Like maybe it had more to do with like his situation where he is now, for me, I became disabled. So if I was overeating, I didn't care. And that seemed to me where he was at. He could function, the Charlie character. He could function in life. He could still hold down a job. He could still pay his rent. He could still get by. But food was obviously an element of that. To me, it was interesting that they actually did not dwell too much on the food and how the food it was used as a coping method. There's maybe two scenes where that was a little bit exposed, but it's cause and effect. Like you got why he went on. I guess they would call it pardon, but he went on a binge, and but there was a cause and effect. Like it was using food as a coping method. I'm guessing again. I'm not a binge. I was never a binge eater, so I don't understand in the absolute. I don't understand how binge eating works. I hear of it, and obviously I'm aware of it, but I haven't experienced it because I don't experience it. Same as I don't experience food as an addiction. Food is just food, you know. The way I was just telling someone yesterday, I live on 15,000, if I'm lucky, calories a day, and but I'm always full. So 15 is where it works, and when I eat less, I don't realize I'm doing it. Therefore, I force myself. I think I've explained that to you. So that's me. That's how I eat. That's my sustenance. This character obviously did a different route. Um, yeah. So me, I would highly recommend it. It's one of the few movies that actually evoked an emotional response. It had everything to do with the character. Brandon Fraser was fantastic in it. I really top-notch performance. He's an actor. I know him. He's my age, right? And I know him, stoner guy from back in the day. But it is what it is. Me, a highlight was Samantha Morton made an appearance. Awesome. All the characters were fantastic. I liked the different storylines that they covered in it. And yeah, I would highly recommend it. I thought it was a great film. Um, I don't know if it's the best of 2022, but it would, for me, it would be in the top three, only because that it did evoke an emotional response from me. Very um, bittersweet. It was a great film. Anyway, sorry, I'm rambling. I will tomorrow tell you guys what exactly is bringing on all this rambling that I've been doing over the past almost a week now. But that's tomorrow. Today, I just wanted to get this one out. And now you know what's going on behind the patch this morning. I will talk to you guys later.